Yeah. Here we go. This is gonna be good. Drop some fire emojis in the chat. So this was just poor planning on Trudeau's part. They knew. The government knew, the Ottawa police knew that the convoy was coming. They could have sanitary stations set up.
For Freedom Corp. I've been asked to make sure that we introduce ourselves before we start. I just have a few questions for you, and just so you know, most of these are what we call Brown and Dunn questions. I just need to give them to you so that there's some other evidence down the road, and I need to be fair to you, so I need to put a lot of this to you, okay?
Just to be clear, Brown and Dunn is simply that they put a statement to you that it may be contradicted later, so you should have a chance to comment.
Thank you for that clarification.
So yeah, sorry, I'm too lawyer.
I was trying to fake it till I made it on that one, so.
Well, it's good. It's good. You did a very good job. You sold me. So, okay. So I understand that after the protests, there was two funds set up. One being $20 million was set aside by the federal government to compensate Ottawa businesses affected by the protests, and another one for $10 million from the provincial government. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
And to date, or at least as of June, I understand that of the federal government funds, only $8.6 million have been used. Is that fair?
I don't have that knowledge. I know a lot of my businesses took advantage of it.
I can't comment on the total, but I could state that the majority of my Main Street business, my storefront businesses did apply to the fund.
Okay. And of the $10 million provided by the province, I can't find it, much of that was used. Can you tell us, do you know any amounts with respect to the amount of money that was used from the provincial funds?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Big buttery croissant.
You had said in your evidence, ma'am, that Uber Eats wasn't available during the protests. I'm going to put it to you that it was.
Okay.
Can you, I'm giving you an opportunity.
I'm not sure.
That's the purpose of this. So
Right.
I want to be fair to you. I'm going to put it to you that Uber Eats, in fact, was operating during the protests and was, in fact, even delivering food to the protesters.
I would say there are likely times that Uber Eats was operating and other times on the weekends, which I think our businesses would deem to be the most busy times where a lot of them weren't. There was a lack of drivers. I know that was a major issue. And then because of the closures, there was zero access for it. So whether the app was open or not, I'm not aware, but I can tell you that many of our restaurants in Vanier and others could not use that service as a method to sell their food. And further to that, some would make the orders and they wouldn't be picked up. So there was an additional loss. Okay.
And did you yourself experience any inability to use Uber Eats?
I did not use Uber Eats in that time, no.
Did either of you have contact with the Member of Parliament, Mona Fortier, during this time? That she, I believe, is the President
Yes,
of
she's
Treasury?
the MP that represents Vanier, so I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And I take it that when you contacted her, at one juncture, you asked her to help you with respect to removing police blockades that were affecting the market and your area. Is that fair?
I did not, no. That was not my request.
Now,
That may have been my colleague in the market, but it was not me.
And in the videos my friends from the commission played for you, those videos taken by you, you would agree that there was no honking or noise in the background in those videos, was there?
In some there were, not in those particular videos, but at times there was honking. There wasn't as much honking at Coventry, no.
Yeah. And what time? I saw all the videos, that was...
Roughly 6 p.m.
Roughly 6 p.m. So...
Well, the first weekend, that was roughly 6 p.m. On the second weekend, it was 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So it depends. I was there at different times.
Right. But you agree in both those videos, there's no loud noises, there's no honking while you're driving and taking those videos?
There was honking, yes. There was definitely honking. There was some loud noises. Whether they were as loud as downtown, no, they were not. Okay. But there was definitely honking, and depending at times too. Also, no, there was not.
Right. And were you aware that on January 25th, 2022, the City of Ottawa received an email from the Hotel Association here in town stating that the truckers and protesters had booked stays for over 30 days.
I was not aware of the email, but I do know that Steve Ball from the Hotel Association was on many of our calls, especially in the third and fourth weekend and near the tail end of them. And he did make that aware to us. He also pointed out to the fact that there was a lot of hotels that couldn't be accounted for because they would be booked through third party.
Right.
So the hotels.coms or things like that.
So is it fair to say that, to your knowledge, that the municipality of the city of Ottawa knew on January 25th, 2022, that these protesters and truckers were intending to stay a lot longer than the weekend?
It appears to me that they should have known that, yes.
Checkmate.
Right. And you had mentioned that you saw some folks pouring out urine and other fecal matter or what have you.
Just urine.
Yes, okay. And what date was that? Do you recall?
The date is on the video. I believe it was the second weekend, possibly the third weekend. I'm sorry, it's on the video, but
But it wasn't at the beginning?
it was not at the beginning, no.
Okay. Were you aware that the protesters and the truckers had applied for and had been given permits for porta potties originally, but those permits were then pulled?
I'm not aware of that, no. But I'm kind of happy to hear that at some point something was permitted, yes.
Well, that was
Sorry.
the beginning, at the beginning. And I just, again, trying to be fair to you.
Thank you.
And you had mentioned that you had seen or heard from some store owner that they had sold out of knives and bear spray. Is that right?
The Canadian Tire, yes. That's what it was told to me.
Is it fair to say, though, that you never saw any protesters or truckers running around waving knives?
Most of the people I know that hunt with knives don't wave them around.
Right, good. I
So
like
they
that.
would be concealed perhaps, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think waving around a knife states whether or not the knife exists.
All right,
Did I see the knife being waved around? No, I did not.
all right. And you never...
Do I trust that the Canadian Tire is telling me the truth? Yes.
Right. So, and you never saw protesters with bear spray?
I was not in the heat of it on the last weekend, if that's what you're implying, no.
And
what
despite
he asked.
that Canadian Tire had sold out of these items, you had no knowledge of who they sold all of these items to, is that fair?
I had none, no.
So you don't know if he sold them to protesters or if they sold them to local residents, would that be fair?
I suppose that would be fair, yes. I mean, I suppose we could probably cross-reference credit cards at some point and figure that out, but I don't think that
Credit
is
cards,
the case.
well,
Well, I don't know.
I think
Purchases.
the feds will need to get another order for production for all that.
Likely. Way above my pay grade, sir.
Way above mine, too.
Thank you.
So I believe those are all my questions for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.